Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing, man? Antonelli here.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? How we doing? Matt Antonelli here. Today, we're talking about travel baseball. What is travel baseball? I get that question a lot on our YouTube page. Obviously, I run a travel baseball organization, so we're going to really get into that today. Before we do so, today's video is sponsored by Super Speed Slugger. We use all of their overload, underload bats for our Antonelli baseball teams. We've had a lot of success using them so far, so we definitely recommend that you try them out. If you go to the description box below, click the link, it's going to take you over to their site, and you can check them out, get more information over there. We definitely recommend it. Okay, so travel baseball. What is it? Okay. It's a couple different things, okay? People refer to it as different things. Some people refer to it as AAU baseball, right? That was, when I played, it was really considered AAU baseball. And AAU was one of the main leagues. Now there's a bunch of different leagues, okay? But essentially, what travel baseball is, what I consider travel baseball, it's not so much that you have to travel all over the country. People hear, oh, travel baseball, oh, that means the team must just go everywhere, right? They must be traveling every weekend. And in some cases, that's true. We're going to get into more of how our team travels and how a lot of teams travel. But usually when I think of travel baseball, I think of a team where players are going to kind of come from all over. So you're going to get some of the better players, right? This isn't just town ball where, for instance, my town is Georgetown. Okay, so if you're from Georgetown, you can go and you can play Georgetown baseball, right? Travel baseball, typically you have to try it, you have to make the team, right? You're going to have players coming from all over the place. So that's what I think of when I think of travel baseball, okay? So for our team, let's talk about a couple different things. One, where the players are from, okay? We have players from typically Massachusetts, but we have some players from New Hampshire, and we've had a couple of Rhode Island players in the past also. So we're going to mostly be from Massachusetts, but then we're going to sprinkle in a couple of other states. Now, we've had some showcase teams where we've really traveled a lot, and we've had players come from all over the country to play on that team. We've had players from California, from Illinois, from Florida, from Georgia, right? So we've had players from all over the place, and those players kind of come in, play in a couple specific tournaments. So that's another option. And there's some teams out there that will do that exclusively. So for us, most of our players are kind of from this area. But for some teams, they'll have players coming in from all over the place, right? So we talked about in the past how I played for the Ohio Warhawks. When I played for the Ohio Warhawks when I was in high school, we had like one or two kids from Ohio. Everyone else was from all over the country, okay? So there's different types of teams when it comes to travel baseball, all right? So that's kind of where our teams are made up from, where our players come from. Now, as far as traveling when you play, one of the things, again, when you look at travel baseball and non-travel baseball is if you're just playing for your town, you're probably going to travel really close to home, right? You're probably, maybe you go to a faraway tournament, but typically you're going to be playing really locally, okay? When you talk about travel baseball for Antonelli baseball or for other travel baseball teams, usually you're going to travel a little bit more. Now, again, for us, we're going to have, depending on the age level, if you think about below 16 years old, a lot of our games in league are going to be, relatively close. You're going to be traveling 30 minutes some days. You might go a little bit further. You might have to go an hour some days. And then you're going to play in your tournaments where maybe you're traveling a little bit further. If you think about our older teams, so 16 and up, those teams that were really trying to work on creating exposure and being able to get those players recruited, well, then the travel is going to be much more. So we end up playing in a bunch of tournaments, and we're going to travel to different places. Last year we went down to Georgia. We're going to go to New Jersey. We're going to go to New York. We've gone to Florida in the past. We've gone to North Carolina. So we're not that you're going to go to all these places every year, but every year we're going to pick a couple different places to go to. The reason why we travel, the reason why we're going, is, again, so that we can get our players some exposure, so that we can, when we go down to, let's say, Georgia, right? The tournament that we go to down, the WWBA tournament down in Georgia, is one of the biggest tournaments in the country. And so that place is going to be full with colleges from all over the place. So if you're a player from the Northeast and you want to play down south, or you want to play in a different part of the country, well, then you're going to have to do a little bit of traveling. And that's one good tournament to get to, where there's going to be a lot of coaches from all over the country getting in there, and it gives you an opportunity to obviously to hopefully play well and be seen and get a little bit more exposure, okay? So that's kind of the travel component of it. And in some cases, you have to be just a little bit careful. One of the reasons why with our younger teams is I think that we don't travel as much with our younger teams. You see some teams going all over the place, which can be cool in some instances. My thought on that is a lot of times nowadays you end up traveling, right? You go down to this tournament in Kentucky or wherever, and all of a sudden there's like a bunch of the teams that you've played already during the year that are all going down there, right? So we kind of save traveling for our older teams and not so much for our younger teams. We'll travel a little bit, but we're not going to go crazy. But again, everyone's a little bit different, okay? So there's definitely going to be more travel. Again, when I think about travel baseball, some of it is doing the traveling, having to go play in other tournaments. Some of it is, players are going to travel a little bit more, right? You're not going to have kind of that 15 players from one hometown or 10 players from one hometown. They're going to be branched out a little bit more, okay? The other thing when I really think about travel baseball is I think about more of a not an all year round, but for instance, for us, we start in the wintertime, right? So we're going to have a program that starts in the wintertime. And we even have fall baseball. So you have an opportunity, not that you have to do it all year round, because, listen, we have a bunch of players that play multiple sports, and I'm a huge fan of multiple sports. I played 3 sports in high school. I played like 25 sports when I was younger. And so, we want our players playing multiple sports, but we have an opportunity for them to continue to work on their baseball skills throughout the year. So we have a fall ball opportunity. We have winter ball. When we start our winter training in December, we're going to practice 2 times a week all the way until the spring, right? Then you're going to have your spring season. You're going to have your summer season, okay? So the season is a little bit bigger. The opportunity for practice time is probably greater than maybe a non-travel ball team. Now, there's some towns that do a really good job with it, and they have opportunities throughout the year. But typically, travel baseball is going to have a lot of opportunity, right? You're going to be able to really practice all year round if you want to, while you're doing other sports. And again, we basically go in the fall, and then we get into the winter, and we're going pretty hard. Once we get to December 1st, we have 2 really intense practices throughout the winter time so that when our players get outside, they've had 4 really strong months of building in fundamentals, getting a better understanding of the game, and really being locked in so that when they get out there in the spring, they're ready to go. There's a lot of players that maybe don't have that opportunity. The spring hits, and then all of a sudden now you've got to get ready really, really fast, right? You've got to get out there, and at least where I'm from, and it depends a little bit on the part of the country you're from, but where I'm from, when you get out there in the spring, right, we can't really even get outside sometimes till like April 1st, and first game's like April 3rd. So it's like, get out and you better be ready to play. And there's only, if you think about high school, there's only 20 games in a high school season for Massachusetts and in the Northeast. And so you might get out there and have like 5 days to get ready for your first game. Last year, I think we had 1 practice before our game. I think 2 years ago, we had no practices. And it's like, you get into your game and all of a sudden, boom, season's over. And you go into summer ball. Okay, so it's a good opportunity to be able to practice kind of year-round and really build up and get ready for the season, especially for pitchers, to be able to get their arms ready to go and not just jump right out in the freezing cold, having not done anything all winter. And now I'm expected to throw a lot, and now, my arm's sore because I haven't been throwing, and now I'm out I missed most of the season, okay? So those are really some of the main components of travel ball. I know there's a lot more. I could make this video probably 2 hours if I really wanted to, but I don't want to bore you with a 2-hour video. But I get so many questions on like, what is travel baseball? What does Antonelli baseball do? Why is it different than, the local baseball that I play for? Hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of insight. If you have any more questions, put in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, share the video with all your friends, all that good stuff. Give it a thumbs up. In the description box below, we got a bunch of stuff to check out as well, so definitely check all that out. And that's all I got, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you later.